Hey everybody, it's Rico Suave. Sorry I've been away from the tube for a little bit. I've been traveling all over the country. As you can see right now, I'm in a hotel room. So it's been a great, especially this last month has been amazing, really. I've got to experience so many different experiences. I've got to meet so many great people. I've got to learn so much that I have so much I want to throw at you guys. So I hope you guys are anticipating those. Now, I'm not saying you guys are going to be excited as I am because I get really excited to make videos for you guys, but there's just so much stuff that I just want to throw out on you guys. So be expecting those. They're going to be coming here in the really, really near future. But I wanted to do a quick video today on gas generators. I took my gas generator. They've had it for a while. I just haven't got around to making a video on it, taking it from my RV location to a more suburb location for a project that is going on there, but that's neither here nor there. So that's what I got going on with that, and so I thought that would be a great time to make a video for you guys. So like I said, full disclosure, nobody pays me to make these to make these videos. Nobody gives me products to test. Everything that I show you guys are things that I've done a ton of research on, and I myself have said, okay, this is something that I'm going to use for my plan. This is something that's going to help enrich my life. So everything that you see that I have is stuff that I have said, you know what, done a lot of research on. I'm going to put forth my resources to get that so you can help me with my overall plan. So that's why I do it, and that's why I love making the videos for you guys, because if it can help just one of you guys out, it makes my day. Especially I've been getting a lot of feedback and a lot of love from you guys this last month, so I really, really appreciate that. So if you guys have questions, please keep sending them in, and I'll answer them as soon as I get around to them. So you guys have been great. You guys have really been watching the videos, so it's awesome. So today, like I said, it's going to be over my gas generator. So I'm just going to go over some basic stuff. So I'm going to talk about my Champion 4,000 peak, 3,500 continuous watt generator. So I hope you guys are excited. Stay with me. Hey everybody, it's Rico Suave. I just want to show you guys my gas generator. Had it for a while. I transferred it to one of my alternate locations. I just thought I'd let you guys see it right quick so you guys can, I don't know, just give you guys some SA, some situational awareness. So this is my Champion gas generator, 4,000 watts, 3,500 watts continuous. Engines start off 25, 20 amp circuit breakers, has a voltmeter right here, 120 volts right here, 30 amp for your RVs, toy haulers, trailers, anything like that. Then you have your normal wall outlet, 12 amp. So this is a really, 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 really good generator to have. Generators in general are just really, 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 really good to have in case for any reason the power goes out. I know in my lifetime there have definitely been many times the powers went out, whether it's for a tornado, inclement weather, power lines, what have you. So overall, they're good to have. One note of caution right quick, as you can see right here, it says not for sale in California, prohibitado, or whatever the heck that says. Anyway, so yeah, it's prohibited for sale in California because of the EPA guidelines. So if you live in California and you bring your gas generator down to California, just know it is illegal and you can be fined. Not that you really care, but overall, good generator under $300, 4,000 peak watts with 3,500 continuous will definitely power pretty much everything that you needed to power for as long as you have fuel for the most part. Really good to have for the small home setting or for RV type setting like what I have. So overall, you know, it's just good to have gas generator on hand. As you can see, it's not very big. If we had to do a quick comparison right quick, you guys have seen these before, I'm sure. So it's a 5-gallon water jug, approximately the size of 2, a little bit bigger than 2 5-gallon water jugs. So it's not really big. It's really easy to store, really easy to put somewhere in case you need it for later. So overall, it's just good to have. And as always, you know, you guys know that I'm not bought by anybody. I don't get paid to do these reviews. I'm just here to show you guys what I have and show you guys what you guys can do to make yourself better. So please, if you have the money to upgrade to one of those 10,000 watts, I mean, the more the better. Just also know for fuel consumption, they have some really eco-friendly ones that gives you the most bang for your bucks. Definitely go out there, research. But for me and for this setting that I'm in, for where I'm at and what I'm doing, this will suffice. It's definitely a good fix to many issues that could come down in the future. So it's always good to have a gas generator in hand. Like I said, this is the Champion 4,000 watt peak, 3,500 watt continuous generator that I have here. So kind of And they're not all that loud either. They're pretty quiet, which is good, especially for where we're at right now, like almost a suburban setting. You know, you have cars, you have a whole bunch of things going around. So with everyday life going on, you probably wouldn't hear it. But then again, if nobody has power and everybody's desperate, turning one of these on could bring a little attention to yourself. So also something to keep in mind. But like I said before, they are really not that loud. So there you go. Hope you guys liked it, and stay with me. So there you guys have it. Now I'm not going to sit here and bore you guys with all the specifications. I'll take some clip shots of that, and I'll leave that up for a couple seconds so you guys can look at that and get some information off that, and I'll also leave a link to the actual specification of it. So basically a link to the product description so you can kind of take a look at and see all that stuff for your guys' self. I'm not going to sit here and try to bore you. And that's first off, and second off, I'm not trying to here to sell you on anything. I just want to give you guys ideas. I want to give you guys more tools for your toolbox. Now, what I do want to go over is how I prioritize and what I was looking for when I was searching for a generator. So I think you guys will get much more benefit from that than me just spilling out specifications and facts on a device. So the first thing that whenever I go out and I was looking for a generator, and what you guys should look at is the wattage. How much wattage can it put out? Now the reason for that is because, like you've seen in my other videos on power monitoring, knowing how much power you need is super duper important. Knowing how much power you use is super duper important, because power available, power available, power available. I know you guys have seen my videos. Those of you who know me personally know I'm always harping on that. Why am I always harping on power available? Because if you don't have the power to do the job won't get done. You know, it's simple math. It really is. 1 + 1 = 2, man. So with that, know how much power you're going to need. If, you know, I encourage you guys to power monitor and see how much power you use in a month. I mean, it's pretty simple. You don't have to go out and get a power device. Now, I would, just so you can monitor certain devices that, you know, that you use. That's what I like to do. But get your monthly bill. See how many kilowatts you use. Know how much power that you're going to need for your lifestyle. And for a lot of you guys would be like, well, shoot, for how much power I use, I'm going to need, you know, a 20,000 watt generator. Well, at least it's a starting point. At least you can see what you're using, and then you can start to shimmy down on your power consumption. And that doesn't always necessarily mean that you got to quit out using everything that you do in life. Maybe you just need to be more, you know, mindful of leaving lights on, or as simple as switching the bulbs to LED. Whenever you're going to look for a device, take a hot plate for example. I have a hot plate that uses 1200 watts. I have another hot plate that uses 800 watts. The one that's 800 watts performs just as well as the one that uses 1200 watts, but it's $30 to $50 more expensive. For me, it's not even about the money. Okay, it's about knowing how much power I need. So I'm going to pay more money for one that uses less power, because then now that is less power I have to create. So keep that in mind. So yes, wattage. If it's not within the wattage that you're looking for, or within your wattage requirements, the requirements you need, I don't even look at the generator. It's not even worth it. It's not even worth wasting my time over, because there's a prerequisite. So don't waste your time on things that aren't going to reach your prerequisite, because at that point, you're not really doing yourself justice. That's just my personal opinion, like I said, but that's what I look for. So the most important thing is to know how much power you're going to need. So start looking at generators that are within your wattage. So once you're cleared everything else out of the way and you're looking at generators that are curtailed to your wattage, all right, cool. Now let's start taking a look at the size. For me, size and weight is important. The reason why it's important to me is because I live in an RV, so I don't have a whole lot of space. What I do though, if need be, I'm very mobile. I can get up and I can go at a drop of a hat. So for me, having something that I can manipulate and man around, something that can fit and I can fit in storage and I can store it in my RV, super duper important. Now, for a lot of you guys that live in small apartments or mobile homes or whatever, other RVers, you get it. It makes sense. You understand that. You understand organization. You understand the fact that you need that, you know, space is an issue. Now, for those of you that live on tons of acreage, size may not be that big of an issue. However, just a little caveat there, you also want to look at things you can't foresee. Look at what's happening in the East Coast right now. I believe it's Hurricane Joaquin. It's a Category 4. It's a Category 4. So I don't care how big the house you have. I don't care how much property you have. If you're in that warpath, bugging out, leaving, probably a good idea depending on where you're at. I'm not going to tell anybody how to live their life, but you can't always foresee those things. So if you have a great generator, and it's wonderful, but if you can't use it because your situation dictates you can't stay and play, well then, you got to go. So keep that in mind. For me, like I said, I need something that was small. I need something that packed a punch. I need something that didn't weigh too much. Now, with that being said, the generator, the Champion does weigh 110 pounds. Now, for me, not saying that I'm Superman or anything, but I don't have a problem manhandling that thing and moving it around. Now, if obviously, if you have some kind of disability or you're older or you have some kind of injury, I get that. This a lot of the generators, this one included, has a wheel kit, so it takes all the heavy load. It takes all the work out of it. It really does. So that's something else to consider. Weight. So if you have a great generator but it weighs 300 pounds and it's huge, not really feasible in a situation where you want to, we got to leave, or not really feasible in a situation where you want to use this portable energy when you're hunting, etc. So that's the second consideration: size and weight. Third consideration is functionality. What do I mean by functionality for a generator? Well, does it run on gas and propane? Does it run on just propane? Does it run on just gas? Considerations. For me, like I said, RV. I live in an RV. Very important. So what's something that's very important that is a must for me is having that ability to have that 30 amp. I want that 30 amp connection already built in. And as you guys saw, it has the 120 volt, it has the 30 amp, and it has the 12 amp. So for me, that's super, super important because, let's just take something very, very generic, right? So RVs, AC. Everyone is, I know that's going to be a question that's brought up, so I'll just address it right here. AC requirements. Well, if you have a AC unit that requires that is a 13,000 to 14,000 BTU air conditioning, a lot of which you're going to find on an RV is going to be within that range. You're looking at a watt pull of anything between 1,600 and 2,300 watts. So if you're using the AC actively, well then now you only have 1,000 watts left to power everything else. And a hot plate, especially most hot plates, require up to 1,200, 1,300 watts. So you may not be able to do you may not be able to use your AC and use your hot plate at the same time. Considerations. So if you don't have that 30 amp ability, trying to use a dog bone and do all other stuff for me isn't very feasible. It's not something that I would even think about doing. You could if I needed to, but why not just get the generator that has the functionalities of things I need? Now, if you don't have anything in your house or you don't have anything in your current plan to use a 30 amp, well then it's not that important. You know what I mean? If all you think you need is a wall socket and a power strip, well there you go. You don't need that 30 amp. But for those of us that live in RVs or have equipment that's going to require that 30 amp, but we're going to be using equipment that needs that 30 amp, super duper important to have. So instead of having to try to go from a 12 amp to a 30 amp using a dog bone or some other kind of device, it's just easier to plug directly into that 30 amp. So functionality, does it have the functionality, does it have the functions that I'm going to need in my everyday life? And the last thing, which is going to be kind of odd, and I'll kind of re-harp on it again, is the last thing I look at is going to be cost and quality. Cost and quality. Now, a lot of people are like, well, they don't always go together. Well, this is what I mean by that. So cost and quality. Obviously, at some point, we have to think about cost, and you should be thinking about the quality that you're getting for the cost. So I'm not saying go out there and get the most expensive, best quality one on the market. I'm also not saying go out and just get the cheapest one either. That's where a lot of your research comes in. Read the reviews. Does it have a warranty? Does it have, do people back it? Does it have good reviews? Those are things you want to look at. So for me, like with any product, you're going to have a lot of people that love it, a lot of people that had a bad experience with it, whether the unit just was messed up, manufacturer error, or maybe it's just not that great of quality product. So before I do these videos, I want to make sure that I vet, and I may want to make sure that I, test it and make sure it works. So for me, it worked for me, but it may not work for everybody else. You know what I mean? So I'm not going to tell you that you're going to have the same experiences and same, for some people, I've used products that didn't work at all. And for them, it was great. Me, I've used products that were great, and for other people, it wasn't. So that's something to look at. But like I said, if the manufacturer backs it and has a warranty on it, if something does happen, and it is nice to have the ability to go out and exchange it or get it fixed. So keep that in mind. So it goes back to what I was saying, cost and quality. goes back to that hot plate analogy. The hot plate analogy is great. You have a hot plate that requires 1200 watts and it's cheaper, and you have another one that requires 800 watts, it's more expensive. Choose which one's more important. One that uses less power for a little bit more money, or one that's just cheaper upfront cost but is going to cost you in energy in the long run. Something you want to think about. So just to kind of recap, reharp on everything, size, watts. How many watts is the device, is the generator within your requirement for wattage? If it's not, there's really no purpose in wasting your time looking at it. Second thing, size, dimensions, weight. If this is not something that you can, that if you need a generator that you can take with you and something that's feasible to be on the go from going from point A to point B really fast, you want to look at making sure that that meets your size requirement. Make sure that it meets the requirement for you being able to take it. Because if you can't effectively use the device, like I said, it's kind of worthless. It doesn't do a whole lot for you. Third thing, functionality. For some people need a propane generator. Some people need a gasoline generator. Some people like the ability of using both. For me, being in an RV, I need something that has that 30 amp functionality built in. So if you're in that situation and you have 30 amp devices, or you have equipment that requires a 30 amp plug-in, that's something you want to look at. So there's a lot of different things. How much fuel does it use on a 50-pound load, etc., etc. So these are things you want to look at. How loud is it? Is it a 68 decibel like the Champion is? Or is it louder? Is it quieter? You have is there a requirement for sound? All those are things you want to look into as far as the third criteria, functionality. And then the fourth criteria is cost and quality. Making sure the product is something that you can use for long term. Making sure the product is within your price range. So those are all considerations. So you guys can prioritize it however you want, but I definitely highly recommend that you at least look at those four things. So right quick, wattage. Does it meet your wattage requirement? 2, does it meet your dimensions and weight requirement? 3, does it meet all the functionality demands that you're going to be requesting from said generator? And 4, is it a good price and is it a good quality? So I hope that helped you guys out. I'm going to leave the description and the link below. I'll put a few snapshots up so you guys can just kind of see the general stats on that. But for me, that's why I went with the Champion generator. It fits into my lifestyle. It may not fit into yours, but that's what's great. That's why we do these videos. That's why I do these videos, to get you guys thinking and to just get you guys to look at what's going to best suit your guys' needs. So I hope this video was helpful. If you guys have any questions, please feel free to send me a message or comment below. I'll get back to it as soon as possible. You guys are great, and as always, long live the Republic. Glad I caught you guys. Don't go anywhere just yet. The last thing I forgot to mention is the legality of a gas generator. Now, I think it's ridiculous, the fact that I even have to go over this and the fact that I even have to say anything about this whatsoever, but there are legalities, there are policies out there. So as you saw in the video when I was showing you the Champion, it says not for use in California. Yes, that's a real thing. Now keep in mind, especially the Champion is not the only generator. There's a lot of other generators out there that say they're not for California. But I know for the Champion, they do have a CARB-friendly one. CARB simply stands for California Air Resource Board. They have requirements because of the Clean Air Act. CARB was established before the Clean Air Act, because you know how everyone in California is, right? And if you don't, trust me, it's not worth rehearsing over. But so for just the general being, yes, there are certain generators that produce emissions that are not recognized by CARB, but Champion does sell for the same price generators that are the same wattage and everything. They just meet the CARB requirement. So please, last thing I want to see you guys do is being chased by zombies and turning on your gas generator whenever you're safe and having the cop give you a ticket. Just saying, right? So, heaven forbid, EMP goes off, societal collapse goes off, nuclear holocaust, zombie apocalypse, hurricane, tornado, flash flooding. But for real, you don't want to get in trouble with the law, right? So just keep that in mind. Look at all the laws that are in your area. But I'm pretty sure that they're not going to be selling a generator in your area that isn't meant for your area. So just keep cognizant of that. Didn't want to let you guys go without at least telling you that. So there you go. There you have it. If you live in California and Hawaii, and maybe there might be one or two other states, but I know Hawaii and California for a fact. I don't know what Hawaii has, what their requirements are, but for California, if you're going to buy a generator or pretty much anything that causes emissions, make sure that it is CARB certified. So there you go. You guys are free to go. Long live the Republic!